and welcome to the third and last day of Girl Gamer Worlds Final here in beautiful Bahrain. I am your co-caster Momo, joined here by Josh, play-by-play caster. How are we feeling today? We have such a hype best of 5 grand final.
Yeah, I'm feeling great, and I'm hoping for a banger best of 5 here, because I already started voting just an hour ago. Small voting,
Yeah.
not a lot of people participated, but just to see what they're feeling between G2Hell and King and who's gonna take it, and it ended up 50-50.
Yeah, surprisingly, it is actually gonna be very close. There's so much to expect, especially after this 3 days. You know, we learned a lot about each and single team, but the team we actually saw play the least was King, because they were able to just win through those 2 games and automatically qualified to the grand final. So there's still the team that we still don't know much about them, but we know enough to know that they are a very, very experienced and great team, and you should be scared and prepared for them.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, in the 2 best of 1s we've seen from them, they showed a similar style. They wanted a lot of priority around all their lanes and just dominate the early game, get a lot of vision control. Even on top lane, like they picked the Jace or Na into an on in both games.
So
yeah,
good.
but that was their game, all around the priority and taking control over the map and then punishing enemies when they did mistakes. They did it so well, and as soon as they got the lead, they never gave it away.
Exactly, but let's look at the bracket here. As we saw, it was a wonderful 3-day tournament, but finally in the grand final we're gonna have King. G2 went to the loser bracket, as always. That's their buff, you know, that's from where they get their energy. And now we have them here in the finals. But let's notice here that King does have +1. They already have, you know, 1 game advantage because they didn't drop a single game. So already going into this best of 5, it is already 1-0 for King.
Yeah, but at the same time, G2Hell, they had a lot of games to play. Especially yesterday, they had the 2-0 win against Rise, and in the last game they looked, especially in the last game, they looked very, very dominant. So they also had a lot of time to just prepare, and also having, you know, the officials to really see what's working for them in this tournament as well, to prepare as well as possible against King after losing their first match against them. And the first match, that wasn't even close. King was really, you know, making it look easy. But I think now G2Hell is coming back into this one, knowing more how King plays, and also knowing more what they want to play against them.
And what to expect from this team.
Exactly.
But I still believe that it's not really enough, because if we look at the amount of information we have from both of these teams, G2Hell is a very famous team. Everyone knows what they play. Everyone knows their players,
correct,
you know, their weaknesses, their how they play the game. But on the other hand, we don't know much about King. This is, you know, like the first time we see them play. We see a bit of their play style. And we do see that they kind of try and wait for other teams' mistakes. You know, they wait for the other teams to be very much more proactive than them. But they are proactive, King, throughout their vision and map control.
Exactly. And when they have the control, they see the jungler coming in, they're doing well to punish it. And in game 2, they also had the Aurelion Soul. The champ is kind of unfair. I'm just expecting G2Hell to always drop a ban on this one.
Or maybe Tifa is going to pick it. You never know.
Who knows? Although, we got a note here. We already know that King is starting on blue side. This game, yet again, all 3 games so far, including this one now, have been blue side for King. So
I guess they're lucky.
That's gonna be interesting again. They always win it. And in the last games with G2Hell, or the last game, they banned away the Jace, the Aurelion Soul, they banned away the Ashe as well. So those were the picks you kind of also want to ban, because Jace, I mean, we saw how dominant it was in game 2. But yeah, against Rise. So of course, you want to ban that away because it's also a flex. Jisoo plays as well on top lane, can assert so much pressure and still scale very well. The Ashe just also a pick you want to take away because it gets you so much prio, and that's exactly the game King wants to play. So there's another reason to ban that. And then it's the Aurelion Soul. The champ is just broken. You want to ban that one away, especially when you're on red side. So these 3 bans, I feel like we're not going to see a change in this one. I don't think G2Hell is going to change that, but it also means that most likely we will see a repeat of what got first picked by King as well, which would be the Karma.
I most definitely, actually. Karma is the only champion that King played 2 games in a row, actually.
True.
Yeah, we saw it twice from them. So we might see a priority from G2. Maybe they want to take that karma away from the king. And we'd go like Ezreal Karma. That would be a great bot lane.
If they get the chance. Most likely will be a first pick though. And it's going to be very, very interesting. As we jump into the pick and bans, we also talked to G2 Hell as well a bit. And I mean, of course, they didn't tell us much, but they said we can get ready for some spicy picks they still have. And that's going to be interesting because, like we said, King didn't get challenged yet. So now looking at this draft, what will they have ready? Will they actually challenge them in early game already to not allow the vision game? Will they scale and not do the same mistakes they did in game 1? There's so many possibilities you can approach it, because even though King played their style perfectly, so far we only have seen this one style from them, and G2 Hell might have like the perfect preparation here to target that.
Yep, and we already have a Kayn ban here targeted from Karina. No one wants to play. I mean, every single game so far, Kayn was banned. They don't want to see Karina.
That is true, but it's completely understandable.
Yep, and the Azul here banned, of course. Very wise ban. You have to ban that one. It was just unstoppable last game. We saw it. I'm expecting to see either an Ashe ban, but you know what? They could not. They could give it up. They could. I feel like there is other priority picks bans you should go for. Ban here on the Zeri, which we saw. Cultist Smurf on that pick.
It was also the same ban from last time, and if they want to ban all the same champs yet again, we also would see a Malphite ban from them again. The Ashe is gonna get banned on G2 Hell's side. I was thinking maybe right now they see that Karma is the worse than Ashe, so. Here's the answer. They say, actually, yes, ban them both out, and at least the Jace open. That's very, very interesting.
Jace is open. I think we might see. Ooh, Annie! Oh, Annie!
Wow.
Annie is such a great flex pick here, but she's such a strong support mid. She really sets up her teams, and just that Q stun.
I mean, it is a flex pick. It's just generally already like in solo queue. If you look at win rates, it's still so very, very strong as G2 Hell. They're gonna pick the Orianna.
Finally! I'm so excited to see Tifa on Orianna. The shockwaves are so on point from her.
That also looks like this is gonna force the Annie into bot lane, most likely. But it's also very likely that this is an Annie support. Yes, it can be a flex pick, but normally they're looking to first pick the support here. Now that the Karma's banned, they opted for Annie, and now they're following up with the Jhin and Jarvan just to combo it up, go for an engage, go for the all-in, while Jhin sets up the curtain call and, you know, shuts them all down.
Yep, and remembering, Vi here pick from Karina, and I feel like the Jarvan, what are they doing? What is the G doing?
They're watching
they're enjoying the show. Jace ban here, of course.
Understandable.
You don't want to face that Jace, honestly. It's too scary. But Thresh got taken out here for the support, and we have a Jax and Renata Glask. So I'm curious to see what support. Maybe they're going to go for the Nautilus.
Ooh. Now that's interesting. We've seen Na and Jace picked by King in the last games, and now G2 Hell, they're saying we picked the Na away to also get some, you know, a ranged champion or top lane to get some prior around there. But there surely is an answer King has ready, and also the Ziggs now getting picked.
Ziggs here in the Gwen. They are looking to play aggressive this game, and as predicted, they're gonna go for the Nautilus, which is, I believe, the perfect support in this situation. And just so for your information, Hehe is an OTP Ziggs.
That is true. That's a main champ, and now let's see if this was a big mistake to ban it. Ziggs also usually a champ because of the range, the damage you can put out. You're having good wave clear as well to answer the Orianna. You scale well. You should always be fine in that lane to not get killed as well. So it is actually a very, very good matchup for her. So she's gonna love this. She's also gonna love to have a Jarvan in her team, especially against a Varus who doesn't have an escape other than the flash, which you might even be able to put on cooldown very easily if Cultist steps up too far. So that's gonna be very, very interesting how, you know, also how Cultist, you know, she needs to be really aware of her like positioning, where the enemies are. All these kind of things, but at the same time, we also see a bit of a different style here from King already.
I agree.
They got forced into the Gwen now by G2 Hell, banning the Jace, picking the Na, getting that for themselves, and now Jisoo going for the Gwen means the priority on top lane should be on G2 Hell's side.
Yes, most definitely. But I also feel like King draft is aggressive. They're looking to get into those fights. They're looking to get into those kills, and I feel like this game is really gonna be full of team fights, and I'm excited to see it. But I do prefer the potential of team fights and comps from G2. I feel like they have really great composition with the Shockwave from Orianna, with the Vi ult, you know, point click. That is also very nice. You can try and get the kill on the Jhin, even though it's going to be a bit hard. But, you know, still pretty good into this comp. And but I'm also scared from the Gwen, honestly, because
that one
remember the last time we saw Gwen, she was a huge threat, but we'll see how the game is gonna go through.
Yeah, that Gwen is gonna hurt a lot as players are finishing up the runes as well. You can see the draft there on the screen once more before everyone locks it in when we load into the game.
Very soon.
Personally, I think the draft off King is very easy to execute. I also think G2 Hell, they kind of put themselves into a spot where they gotta execute it, you know, very well. Because if you don't actually get a good Nautilus stretch line into the Vi gank, for example, or even later on when you want to go look for picks with this comp, you need to execute it perfectly. You gotta get a fast kill, because if you don't, then King has a good chance to just stall it out, also play it ranged, look for Gwen flanks, all these kind of things. So I think just looking at the execution of the draft, I would say this is heavily on King's side, unless G2 Hell plays this game flawlessly from the beginning.
I agree with you, but let's not forget that most of the champions G2 picks are their comfort picks, they're champions they're used to, so I'm not too worried that they're not going to be able to play well this game. I think, as you said, if they play it perfectly, play it slow, try not to give any openings for King, that could go for their advantage, but I gotta give the draft to King in the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. It was, I can't recall right now, was Thresh banned?
Yeah, it was banned.
Yeah. I mean,
Thresh, there was a lot of actually support bans this game.
That is true.
Thresh, Ashe, Karma.
That's very true.
But this is the first time we see the Annie.
The Thresh ban, I mean, it's just so good when you have a Jarvan on your side, on King's side already. Just to make sure when you play against Varus, who's really immobile. And like I said, there's no other way to get out of the Cataclysm outside of your flash, which is a 5-minute cooldown when you use it. That is huge. It will be really hard for Cultist to play this game. And she needs to position really well. Teammates need to help out a lot. There needs to be good vision control. You also need to worry about the Gwen flanks, because what's happening when Gwen comes in from behind? You're doomed. There's nothing you can do on a champ like Varus, who is so immobile.
I agree with you, and especially taking the Thresh away from her really puts her in this tough position, because, okay, I am Varus, I have the flash, and I have my ult. But I have to worry about Annie, I have to worry about Gwen, I have to worry about Jarvan, and it's just, you know, the list is long.
Yeah, exactly. And also, on top of that, if we think about Gwen flanks, or also how Varus works, you would always say, yeah, there's the chain of corruption you can use to CC someone, to root someone up, and then maybe burst them. But if Gwen is far enough and just dances around Cultist, first of all, she has a dash, and second of all, she has the Hallowed Mist as well to dodge out on the ultimate. So it's so hard to actually lock her down, as we finally are able to jump into the game between King against G2. Don't get confused by the one score on King's side. That is accurate, but it's still the first game we are seeing right now. King just has the upper bracket advantage.
Indeed, and G2 already going all the team towards that bot lane, trying to get, you know, to put that word to make sure that there's going to be no cheese plays from Annie and Jhin. Level 1 here. But look at the Ziggs. Oh, and they do know that all of them were here.
Yeah, now with this information, this is really rough for King, and they might even try something here on the side of the red buff, but I think in the end, all they want to do is just look for a ward.
Wait, are we gonna see what is happening?
Oh, this is really bad. They already are spotted out. Karina now popping the sweeper. I think they walk back and they will figure out that it was warded the entire time. Now G2 finally knows. But King generally also respecting that the Nautilus can hit the red line level 1.
What is this an invade?
That is a late invade.
Are they able to get the red?
This is actually is it. Candleherb has no clue. She's not in the bush. Karina's there. I think they spotted them out in some way. Candleherb, is she gonna try Colomb looking for the zone. They're investing a lot into this to slow down the Java, but at the same time, the bot lane might struggle out of this one. Let's see how King is gonna try to fight this. There's a flash coming through by Colomb. Dredge line hits and Su might get taken down. Perfect flash. I thought this would be in fail flash range, but no, she knows exactly when to flash over the wall to take minimal damage as possible. Huge by her, but also huge by G2 as Karina is now just gonna invade Candleherb and mess with her in the early jungling.
Karina wants to put this Candleherb as behind as much as she can. We're seeing how aggressive G2 is already playing. They're not here to play around. They want to win this game.
And it's already showing what their strategy is into King. They had a strong early game. Now coming in, remember, no flash on Dini, but also not enough damage to take her low on HP. They're all still level 1.
But I think Karina are going to see so much of Vi in this bot lane, knowing that the Jhin does not have the flash, does not have the cleanse, and they don't have heal.
Yeah.
And no one has heal.
That's true.
But this game is looking to be very, very intense. And it's going to be fast paced, I believe. We're going to see lots and lots of fights. Already a huge wave stacking for Su here.
And G2 Hell, they're pushing, they have no ward, Candleherb on bot side, but at the same time, they're also under so much control that it's going to be really, really hard for Candleherb with such a huge wave to even go for a gank.
Yep, and especially that we know how much Varus has that power of, you know, like keep poking and poking. It's
exactly
just very annoying.
He's just looking for the Squire's Bloom, spotting out Karina, but at the same time she also was spotted out, warding the Raptors now as well. But it's all on the ward from G2 Hell, which I also like. Like, look how passively they ward, but for a reason, because they know King was always warding up the enemy jungle a lot, and for them, this ward is gonna help them to know where their jungle is warded, where King is moving, to have this information. They know the game that King is playing, they know exactly how they want to structure their game, and they all already have answers how to outplay them. The question is, can they keep up the pressure?
That is the question, but I just love how already we see an adaptation from G2 and how, you know, they're like, okay, so this is the gameplay that King want to go for. We're gonna try and counter that. We're gonna get our own vision too. We're gonna try to clear your vision. And yeah, it looks like it's going so far very equal for both teams. So far, I would say maybe they're gonna look to get that first dragon for G2.
Yeah, right now King is building up a push, but Karina is on bot side.
Yep. Maybe she's gonna try and look for a gank here as the wave is pushing towards G2.
Yeah, and they're completely fine with that. You can see that they're not hard-hitting the wave. They wanted to push in. King obviously also has the information, so Candleherb might as well start pathing towards the bot lane to cover it. She kind of has to, because else they're just going to get zoned away. Karina moving into bot lane now, taking the scuttle for now. Candleherb is moving. She's skipping the Raptors. She has the knowledge that they might going to get ganked if she's not there, and that it would be doomed. Not popping the Sky's Bloom as well, just to make sure
what's going on in the bot
she's
lane?
not getting spotted. Karina now spotted out by Candleherb. Engage coming in, no flash. Remember, I think Dini is dead. Flash is coming through, but the stun by Dini. First blood going over to King as they punish the gank. Really, really well played by Candleherb. Instantly reacting with G2 Hell. Wanted to set up the gank. Karina also with the flash not hitting. That was massive. And I also think Dini, yeah, she had her flash down, but because she's running the inspiration tree, she had it back up.
We have another gank in the mid lane. Tifa is going to be able to flash that away, and the ult is not enough to kill her. Actually, amazing rotation from Candleherb here. She was like, you know what, I think the Vi is going to gank, and so she counter ganks, and that was able to get the first blood and 2 kills for G2, for King.
Yeah. And now Karina actually looking to contest. I mean, they're overstaying right now. There's a good chance for G2 Hell to actually turn this around, but Karina is a bit deep, going low in HP, but she's gonna get the shield as well. Both junglers should surely fall here. Candleherb, just a matter of time until she gets taken down by Colomb. Cult is flashing in as well, getting another kill. Su is gonna use the cleanse to try to get out of this one. Should get killed by Colomb. Staggering blow damage adds just a cherry on top to finish her off. Colomb still there to help Cultist here. Going out of mana, flash use Colomb. Does she have the dredge line to hit? protect here and take her down. She does. That should be the arrow counters piercing through her. And they are going to pick up another kill, punishing King for the overstay. And now they are in the lead by 500 gold.
4 kills for G2 just from what happened here. Amazing follow-up from G2. Karina knew that she has to contest that Drake, and she was able to get so much out of it. She died, but her team was there. The bot lane moved. We have a replay here. Thank you very much. See Karina here moving in with the Nautilus. They're like, no, 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 we're not going to give you this Drake so easily. The Q on the Annie here, but sadly, Karina wasn't able to survive. But
the arrow.
The Varus dealing so much damage here, and she's playing really, really aggressive because she does know the limits of her champion and she knows how much she can damage she's dealing. And look, and also the Nautilus. We gotta give credits to this Nautilus for doing so much.
And another thing here is that Tifa was mid lane the entire time, which was completely correct because she got pushed in. Hehe just had the faster move. But G2 Hell, they just knew that they were overstaying. Going for the Drake by King was a huge risk that didn't pay off out of the reason that they have been you know, they have been in the game for so long and not recalled yet.
The scuttle? Wait, no one took the Inferno?
Nope. In the end, it got cancelled out. Both junglers got killed at the beginning of the fight, and
I think they might, you know, G2 take the Herald. On the other hand, King might take the Inferno.
Could be the case.
Yep.
But even then, gotta think about the King. They played a lot around bot lane. They played a lot around the controlled game. Them getting the Dragon delayed, and now G2 Hell also picking up the Herald is pretty big. King's game is gonna slow down a lot by just delaying delaying the Drake, getting the Herald. Now G2 Hell can also look to break open the mid lane turret too, and it will be very interesting how they play this. Karina though gets spotted out by a ward, and G2 was roaming. G2 Hell is respecting that, and Karina goes back to jungling.
Yep, not really 1k, but like a little bit of goal difference between the two teams is starting to build up in the favor of G2. First Drake for King and first Herald for G2.
Inspire me.
Look at that. Look at that Dini. Look at that Annie. It's just so scary. When she has her stun up, you just want to stay away from her.
She's ready to summon Tibas.
Yeah. As they both hit level 6 here, but Nautilus not yet. Not gonna be able to do his ult. But it's looking good for G2 bot lane with 4 kills there.
Indeed. Lysiana also gonna look to trade back into G2. But it's just the back and forth in top lane right now.
Jarvan is heading towards there. Maybe you can see a gank here. Lysia has her flash up. But I think Jarvan's gonna just back off this one.
Yeah, she always has the jump. Even though Candle has the Cataclysm, you can easily get out of this one. You have Megan now soon, so you can use your ultimate as well just to knock them away. So there's a lot of tools for Lysia to not get into trouble here with that gank. So you rather want to make sure that you cover the bot lane in any case, because Karina is looking for a gank there on bot lane, or just to cover them, to put some pressure onto Dini and Sue.
Yep, but on the other hand, we have Jarvan there. So if anything happens, they're looking to invade Jarvan jungle here in the bot side. Look at the Orianna and Vi. They're maybe gonna... No, Orianna is backing up. They should play this very carefully.
Yeah, right now both teams do. G2 Hell still has a slight lead. They still have the Herald as well, but Karina, she would love to find a pick here to set herself up to use it.
Yep. And also she wants to put the Herald. Gonna see an action here in the bot lane soon, I believe. Gonna clear this control ward. Tribush. They're looking for a dive, I believe. Or no. Vi is backing off. And the game is going slow for now.
In the end, it's just going to be some pressure onto King. The Herald closer and closer to timeout. So Karina still has to use it right now, pathing towards top side as well. Jisoo still has to need the work. And Lysia is getting a bit lower and lower on HP. So I think Karina just looks to cover. and while she can do the Crux as well, just to make sure Lysia stays alive there on top lane. But yeah, Herald, I mean, at this point where Karina is clearing from top to bot, doesn't seem to be a way that this Herald is going to get used to get Cultists ahead. Candle help going towards mid lane. Tifa surely has to flash out of this one. That Cataclysm used. The command Shockwave to turn this one around, but suddenly Jisoo is there with the needlework to finish her off. Mega Inferno Bomb also helping there with the damage, and that is actually bad news because Karina needs to use the Herald soon. She surely wanted to use that one for mid lane, and now Tifa is dead, doesn't have teleport either, and is respawning in 20 seconds.
Very well roam here from Jisoo. It was a 1v3. I don't think Tifa was expecting that. I mean, she flashed, but she also went back, and then she was like, oh wait, Gwen is here. When did that happen? And she has to put the Herald here by in the mid lane, which is gonna go to waste, but she didn't really have a choice here.
Yeah, that's a huge
unlucky timing
loss.
for the death of Tifa.
I mean, that's gonna slow down G2 Herald a lot, and in the end, I still think they are on a timer, but the Herald could have, you know, made sure help to get them ahead. Like, yeah, now with this, now with the gank happening, G2 Herald, they might still have the lead, but they're dragging down. They couldn't use the Herald properly. It's looking quite bad for them again.
Yeah, but looking at the lanes here, we don't see much of a difference when it comes to CS. This game, it feels much closer than the first game you saw between King and G2. I mean, the stakes are much higher on this one. This is the grand final.
For sure. It's looking much better here for G2 Herald generally, and I think that also is going to tell us that no matter how the series is going to end up going, that we're going to have a close final here, that all games could be very close here, and that G2 Herald also still, they have something, even if it doesn't work this game, they already are showing that they have something to challenge King as well.
Yep.
But of course, if they lose this one, then King is just one game away from taking the entire best of 5.
Exactly, so it is much more pressure on G2, but flash here from the Nautilus.
Flash, stretch line into command, Shockwave. Candle up trying to get out of this one, and she actually smites away Cultist, and can she get out of this one? Karina is gonna get left alone because Tifa is trying to chase down Candleherb, who's now perfectly set up to get taken down by the curtain call as well. G2 Herald might have secured the dragon, but 3 of them died for it.
3 of them died for it, and Sue was able to get 2 kills out of this fight, which puts her here in a great advantage. This was really sad to see. For G2, actually, this really puts them behind.
Indeed, and now with this pressure, it's going to be so easy, thanks to his sticks, to use the satchel charge and get another turret, and especially the one in mid lane. Well, not another turret, actually the first blood turret. And that would give them so much control for now here, though. Respecting Tifa has the teleport and is recalling, but you saw a lot of damage now, a lot more damage dealt.
Yeah, I want to see the replay here, and we're going to see how the Jarvan, you know, it was an engage from G2. Okay, they were confident, yes, we're going to be able to get this, but look at that Candleherb. The damage she did for on the Varus here, and was follow-up from Sue and Dini. It's just Sue was able to get this kill on Karina and another one on Tifa.
Cultist ended up not using the flash here. But I'm not sure if it even would have gotten her out. But, you know, if she flashes the Cataclysm, and that's the combo they want to set up between Candleherb and Hehe.
But I don't think she was expecting to, you know, die that soon. Because she was full HP and she had so much damage. She was expecting to actually kill Candleherb.
It just really looked like she wasn't ready for all this burst to come through, and that's why she didn't flash. And that's the combo you just have to respect. And I think that's also just something which is going to make the game for this Varus really hard to play. I personally am not, you know, generally, like, I'm not a big fan of, like, the Varus pick, because I think there's still a lot of ways to counter it because of the low mobility, especially when the Thresh is banned. And King, they have the perfect comp. Punish the Varus. All of those picks make it really hard for Cultist to actually play the game. And it's not about her as a player, it's just about the champion. It's going to be very hard for her to do anything this game, and that's also why she's going to the Lethality build, because it's much safer to play it. But even then, it's going to be very hard, as Columna is going to get caught out. Dredge Lion is not going to get her to safety. Cataclysm is just trapping her in this
Stun
one,
from the
and
Annie.
it is Candleherb finishing off the kill in the end. They're looking for more. Actually, counters on bot lane, and yeah, there's no way she's gonna get out of this one. Sees this is used by Karina, and it's completely breaking apart. Curtain Call gets 2 kills in favor of King. They're 10-4 on kills. They're gonna take a second turret as well, and they have a massive gold lead.
Second curtain call here from Jim, which gives him another double kill. And the game is looking very hard for G2 at this point. Already 3k difference, 2 towers for King. And yeah, this is looking pretty tough. And as we talked about, the Varys is really in a bad spot here because she can't really escape all that CC, and the burst damage is huge. Here Columbus just trying, you know, to escape, but Candleherber's like, hey, come here.
Yeah.
The ult wasn't enough, the stun from the Annie, and you're just stuck. You can't do much.
Really looks like G2 Hell. Like, you gotta think that how they got into the position. Looking at the minimap, there's a fresh ward place at the Raptors. So I think Karina and Cologne went warding together, and because King has so much control, they realized like they always keep track of G2 Hell, especially when they have a lead. So they realized where the others were. They knew Cologne is all on a lone storm and just caught it out because of that. And then in the end, Carlson was alone bot lane. You already have the skill. You already know Cologne is not going to be a threat because she is dead. And you take another one, you take the turret as well. They're just snowballing it so well because as soon as they have a foot in this game, they have a foot in the door, they're pushing it wide open with all the wards to keep track of G2 Hell and know exactly where all of the players are.
Gale Force from the Jhin here, which makes him only more and more aggressive into getting those kills. And we saw how aggressive Sue is as a player. She really doesn't back off. Oh, Tifa here.
Deadly Flourish connects, but I don't think, yeah, there's no one.
They have vision on the mid lane. They know that Karina
Sue
and the
needs to
entire
catch
team here.
this is used. Sue is gonna get focused out. Dredge line with the flash, not connecting because Sue has a flash herself, but it's flash traded, and Sue is gonna be in a lot of trouble in the next fights unless she plays from high range, but she can easily do that.
TP from Jisoo.
Vehicles coming in. Yeah, TP from Jisoo. Needlework is gonna deal a lot of damage, so does the Mega Inferno Bomb. They can just play the high range. The comp is working so well together. The Curtain Call, the Mega Inferno Bomb, the Needlework, all these tools to just nuke their targets. G2 Hell. They are in hell. Tifa is gonna get taken down. The Drake is gonna go over to King, and yeah, at this point, I think we can call this game GG's and go to the next one, because G2 Hell's comp is just at this point falling off a cliff.
Yeah, most definitely. But maybe there's gonna be a throw from King here as Annie dies and they get a shutdown.
G2 Hell is still trying. Cataclysm onto 3 targets. That's the perfect setup for Hehe. They need to flash out of this one. Cult is slow and he needs to just run away. Karina gets taken down. So does Cologne, and they flash in to follow up. Deadly Flourish finishes off the Na as well. Tifa missing her shockwave.
It's 1
2,
for 3.
and they have this info. 1 for 3 indeed. G2 Hell, I mean, they had to try something.
They had to try something.
The new King didn't have a lot of tools anymore, but it still was enough for King to finish them off and win the fight anyways.
Especially it was a 4v5, let's remind you here, because they did get the kill on the Annie, and they were, you know, and they know that the Jhin does not have the flash, but it just wasn't enough at this point. King has so much burst damage and the range is disgusting, and thanks to the Cataclysm for Jarvan, he was able, you know, to get that perfect ult onto the G2, and it was able to be enough to secure the second kill. It's the second Drake. The Chemtech tool we're gonna have for this game, and the second Drake went for King.
Yep.
We're gonna have a replay here. As you can see, they were able to get, you know, the kill on the Annie. The Jhin was falling behind, you know, because he does not have the flash. He doesn't want to be too close to the team, but it was
now
still...
you look at this, wow.
Yeah.
Cataclysm.
On 3 members of G2, and just look at the amount of damage they're doing. Look at that Gwen. She's just scissoring them.
Yeah. It's just so beautiful. When you get a Cataclysm like this, you have all these teammates who can just abuse them being trapped in there, and G2 Hell's comp is really immobile against the Cataclysm. There's no dash to get them out, and 3 of their members
already
even
didn't
Karina,
have flash.
Yeah, and even Karina would need to charge a Vault Breaker or hit a Cease and Desist to get out of this one. Cease and Desist would get her onto a target. Vault Breaker can easily be blocked as well. Like, it's so easy to just strap them up, and the Jarvan is working so well because of that. So I think that's also something to look at, because if you don't win this early game, it's just so easy with G2Hell being this immobile to just trap them up, have the Jarvan, and then have the 6, Annie, Jhin, and even the Gwen with the needlework to trap them.
Yep, maybe we're gonna see a kill here on the Ziggs. Flash from Ziggs.
Using Flash, Lysia trying her best, getting some damage down.
Not gonna be enough. Oof. I almost thought that Lysia is gonna die there, which would have been horrible for G2.
Indeed. But now that also gives King space to look towards the top side, taking the turret there. Red turret destroyed. Dini moving up together with Candleherb, covering her as well. They take some control over the Baron, which always could be a big threat too.
And they already have so much control over the map, as they have all the first towers from each lane, so you can see how much they're spreading their wards and vision. So much control map over the map here. Ooh, we have the difference in gold. Look, 1,000 almost difference between the 2 players here. Look at the shutdown on the Jhin.
Yeah, Sue is massive, 617 on Jhin, but also Candleherb setting up her team so well with Jarvan. I mean, we just look at this and we also see that Sue and Candleherb, they have been there for almost all the kills, just 1 kill missing. For both of them, where they haven't been in the fight or haven't gotten a hit down. So that's showing how much they play. I mean, through the bot laners too, how much Candleherb is doing on her very supportive champs. But she's just leading the game with it. She's keeping it controlled, and even though G2Hell, they had a really good attempt in the early game and how they could play it, and I liked it as well. I definitely liked G2Hell's idea. Candleherb kept it cool, kept it under control, and was ready to fight back anyways.
Yeah, especially with that early gank from G2 over her Red. She still is doing great into this game, helping her team, being super proactive. And Gwen has the TP, but look how much she pushed so far. She's putting so much pressure on that side lane in the bot lane. Yeah, I believe it's gonna be, you know, the 4 members mid, and you have the Gwen pressuring the side lanes. It's really, I don't really see a way that G2 can come back unless King throws a massive this game.
Yeah, indeed. And also now taking the inner turret for Gwen is going to give so much easier access when you're split pushing. Especially when it's on bot side, because King, what they want to do, they want to move top lane, they want to pressure the Herald, and at the same time get the bot lane pressure, because no one can deal with Jisoo. She's so strong on the Gwen, so you gotta have someone to cover, but if it's a 1v1, she might even get the chance to go for a dive, and if there's no one, because G2Hell wants to contest the Baron, she might as well get the inner turret, because now the inner turret is down, and it makes it so hard for G2Hell to play the map now.
Most definitely, they're gonna look for this dragon. That's gonna be soul point for King, but I don't think G2 is gonna even try to contest this one. They're so far away. We see the Gwen. Something is happening between the Gwen and Vi. Okay, they're just fighting over the Scuttle, and can take soul point for King.
G2Hell using this to just get some vision around the Baron, but that's kind of it. They never can start it themselves either, even if Jisoo is split pushing, because A, she has the teleport, and B, they just lack the damage, as they might get caught up yet again. Lysia trying to deal with Jisoo to knock her away, but they might as well turn Chain of Corruption use, but she is going golden, and that is huge, because now Candleherb is ready with the Cataclysm. Mega Inferno Bomb is going to deal a lot of damage. Needlework following up to finish them all off. They go also low. Cults already used their flash to get out, but the rest of the team is going to get caught out. Colomb dead, Karina dead, Lysia dead, Baron is going to be there, as Candleherb is going to get shockwaved, but is staying alive. She's just too tanky. There's just not enough damage on Tifa's side to finish her off, and she's trying her best, but now Stu is just going in with the Gale Force. She knows she has the damage, that Flourish doesn't connect, but she's still going for the chase for now, backing off just to make sure she's going to stay alive, and they're going to take the Baron. And that's now it's just a matter of time till King is gonna finish this one
Yeah,
off.
Baron secured for King. Very well played team fight from their side, and it's so unlucky to see because G2 had such a good pick on the Gwen. She was alone, and they were more than just one member, if I remember, you know, on her, but it wasn't enough. Especially she had the stopwatch, which really helped her solve that fight until her team joined her. And yeah, as we see here, the ult from the Jhin. But look at the Gwen. You know, she's isolated away from her team, but thanks to the stopwatch, it was enough to stall that fight. And the damage coming in from King is Jisoo, Gwen.
It just hurts. And also in the fight, you can already see Kaltus needed to use a flash alone for the Cataclysm because else she's gonna get comboed.
Yeah.
But then Jisoo still gets the needlework out onto Kaltus as she is gonna try to deal damage. So it's either you just don't deal damage at all or you deal damage and you die. And that's the big problem for her on the Varus. She's just not allowed to play the game.
Yeah, and at this point it feels like honestly only the Varus is able to do a bit of damage into King. Like there isn't much damage coming from G2. So this is a very, very tough game. At this point, 8k gold difference, almost soul for King. Lysia trying to get here a kill on the Gwen, but it won't be enough.
Baiting out the needlework, Karina is fishing, she's going towards top lane, has the cease and desist. Now going all in, they need to try something. They're gonna try to take down Jisoo. How long can she stall? How long can she stay alive? Hey, the answer is not too long, so maybe G2 has a chance here. Lysia teleporting in, used the Magic now already, but the headshot Candle up. Hey, just barely flashing the dredge line. But G2 they're staying in this for now, and that's huge, especially because King is gonna have the Baron buff timing out fairly soon when the members still are respawning.
Is this the throw we were talking about? 2 members for G2, and the shutdowns are very important here and crucial, and it's gonna help them to come back into this game. But let's see if just these 2 kills were enough, you know, because still there is 6k gold difference here, 7 actually. But well played from Karina and Lysia on getting that kill on Jisoo in the top lane.
Indeed, but still shouldn't be enough. Like you said, 7,000 gold lead. Dragon is spawning in 1 minute and 20 seconds. Here also taking control because she gets the scuttle for her team, which is just huge. It's so hard for G2 to even approach them. The way they won the last, well, I wouldn't even call it the fight. 2 members of King got caught out, and that's it. Jisoo got caught out in top lane. Candle got caught out in mid lane. After that, also with Lysia teleporting in.
Yeah, and
now they have to go for a 5 versus 5 fight.
Yeah, we have the Gwen here in the top lane, but look, 4 members from G2, they're looking for a fight. They're looking to get the kill on the Jhin. We're gonna see close enough. If that Q actually hit, it would have been huge for G2. But look at the Gwen. She's pushing so hard through that top lane, but now TP from the Ziggs.
Gwen keeps
Reyna
going.
is alone there.
G2, they're under so much pressure, they need to do something. Do they just give up the top inhib? The answer is no. Lysia walked up, but she also doesn't have teleport. King knows this, so now they can take control over the Dragon Pit. Dragon is about to spawn in just 15 seconds, and G2 will get forced out. Lysia now joining again, but Jisoo is just being a nuisance.
Exactly, the Gwen is pressuring so much. It's like either do you want to fight for the Drake or do you want to save your base? Because if you do go back and try to contest this soul, the Gwen, you know, will just shred into your top lane.
Su needs to care.
Jhin here is almost overextended, but hey, she knows exactly where to be. So.
That's true. She also still has the flash and Gale Force, so she could get herself closer to the team and just bait in Karina. Maybe that even was the plan. Looked like a bit of an overstay, but in the end, Karina also not pulling the trigger. Let's see how they deal with the situation. Will Karina just go for the steal here? She has the blast cone. Actually, the buff blast cone to jump in, and it might be just in time. She gets it. She steals it. Objective bounty secured. Cease and desist is not going to be enough. She's going to get killed, so now King needs to use this kill to get something out of it.
Karina stops King from getting that dragon. She's able to do that steal against
look at Tifa.
4 members were there.
Oh, Cataclysm is still up. The flash is not gonna get her out. There's no more tools to get out of this one. Tries to trade the kill with Dini, but Dini just runs away. And Lysia now also under trouble. Jisoo, snip, snip, snip. Lysia's dead.
So sad to see from G2. Tifa did have the stopwatch there, but it was kind of doomed for her to use it there anyways. Ult coming from the Ziggs.
Just so hard to play for Karthus here. Curtain call used after the deadly flourish procced.
It was such a nice try from G2, trying so hard to go back into this, to come back into this game with the steal, but it's not enough, sadly. The amount of damage and burst coming from King is too much. But the game is still not over, and we can maybe still see some throws. Let's wait for this one. Level 18, Gwen.
Jisoo is just scary. Cologne missing the dredge line here. They're trying to chase them down, but even then, when you find them, what do you want to do? You're still only S2. There's no way G2 Hell can get onto them and kill them. G2 would actually 1v2 them. So it's a dangerous game they are playing as of right now.
Yep.
But G2 Hell, they just want to get some vision onto King. They want to know where they are, so they can at least put down some sneaky wards and get their best chances to potentially get back into this game, but honestly, yes. I just don't see it.
But no, honestly, if they're miraculously able to get that Baron, we'll see here the fight. Karina flashes in and able to smite that Chemtic soul point for King. Into 4 members.
Yep.
That's impressive. But I believe that the only way for G2 to come back in this game is by a miracle happening around the Baron that King is gonna try and get very soon. They're trying to get as much vision as they can. But TP here from Tifa.
But that's also something right now with Jisoo, just putting so much threat onto the bot side as well. G2 Hell will have such a hard time to even play around this Baron, because they're gonna use, they're gonna lose the 4 versus 4 for sure. Curtain call here, use Cologne, she misses the dash line. Needs to use the depth charge to get out of this one. Lysia with the teleport, can help the Cataclysm, but there's no one to follow up. The deadly flourish is gonna connect, but that's the only damage they can put down. Candle caught out. And now Karina is trying to get back in, but now the Gwen flank, what do you want to do? The low mobility is something I talked about, and the needlework now can hit perfectly. She's actually targeting Karthus with that too. As the deadly flourish hits, she has the chance to get out, but the cease and desist means Karina is just gonna dive into Sue to get finished off. Lysia is still trying their best. Megan now coming through, but is that the damage? Any damage to take them down? Lysia can't finish off Jisoo, and now it's only Karthus alive, who's gonna get finished off by Sue, and that's it.
Triple
King
kill!
is gonna take the the first game of the series, but the second game in the scoreline.
King are able to secure the second game for them, and only 1 game away to finish this best of 5. Very, very well played team fights from them. The Gwen flank there was the reason why they won the team fights, and the damage coming from Sue and from Jisoo. G2 really tried their best, to be able to damage that Gwen, but it just was not enough. King wins this first game of best of 5.
And now they are with the backs against the wall. Massive performance by King, and even though they got threatened a lot more than in the 2 other games and did more mistakes as well. They got caught out a few times as well, also in late game even. So that's something to note. But it also means G2 Hell from this point on, they need to play flawlessly. I like their approach. They have shown that there are definitely ways to punish, but they were put into such a massive timer because of the draft. The Varus pick was so easy to play against because of the whole comp. Karthus needed to invest the flash, and there still were so many tools, or Gwen flank coming in, and it was impossible for her to pivot the Varus. And that's not even an individual fault as a player. It's just the champion has such a hard time to deal with them, and I also feel like King was really ready into this pick as well. They had no problem to deal with it. So there were so many ways where if King just stalls out the game, if they do fine, early game, don't get put too behind, that they're gonna win it, and you could really see the issues in the draft with that one. But I still like the approach. I think G2 Hell has 2 ways to get back into this one. It's either trying what they just did yet again and have the confidence to pull it off better, just punishing them in the early game, maybe even with a champ where Karina feels, a champ she loves, a champ where she can just excel on, like for example the Kindred. Either that, or just pulling off a draft where you can find ways to punish them in the late game, because even then, King didn't look 100% clean, got caught out here and then when G2 Hell put the pressure on with a draft that King should easily win. So there's still some room for G2 Hell to come back into this one, but it's going to be very hard.
Yeah, you said it all. I mean, you said everything here. But most definitely, King knows that this is bot lane meta, and they're gonna focus on the bot lane, and they made a perfect draft against it. You know, against the Varus. The Varus just couldn't play here. There was so much chain CC, and the burst damage from King was a lot. But let's see what they're gonna prepare for us in this second game. But it's gonna be the last game if King secures it, actually, because as we told you, they already have a win coming from the winner bracket. So let's see how G2 is gonna, you know, adjust to this draft, and we'll see you soon after the break.
May think that I do. I just care about the times that I share with you. Between all the good and bad, I know that we'll make it through. I am calmer every day. Your presence allows me to. 'Cause every time I fall, every time I fall, I pick myself again. I do everything I can. You and I are meant to be. Sun is up, light is free. Every time I fall, every time I fall, I pick myself again. I do everything I can. You and I meant to be. Sun is out, light is free. The loving on where we travel to.